In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a Python package using a Cookiecutter template. In order to follow this video, you need to install some software packages. You can follow my YouTube channel, Geographic Software Design. And so in the previous video, we already talked about how to install, for example, Visual Studio Code, Git, and Miniconda. So this is the tools that we will need in order to develop the package. So if you have not done that before, please follow the video to install the packages. Once you have done that, I'm going to show you a template that you can use to quickly create a Python package without having to start everything from scratch. So first, you can go to gmap.org. So this is the package that I developed, and I'm going to show you something later in this course how you can develop something like this using the same structure. And this is basically the documentation website. You will be able to create something like this using Markdown that we already talked about in the previous video. And so if you click the icon upper right corner, oh, by the way, maybe just check this one first. In addition to VS Code and Git and Miniconda, you also need an account with GitHub. So if you click the upper right corner, it will take you to GitHub. If you have not had a GitHub account before, you need to sign up on account. So just follow the GitHub website to sign up on an account. And you will also need the other account. So if you come back to gmap.org, if you click this one, PyPI, let me just right click, it will take you to the website. So this is where the package is hosted, and so all the packages, all the Python packages basically will be hosted on here. So this is the official software repository. If you click the icon, take you to the home page. Right now, if you see from the here, okay, 290,000 projects. So basically, there are almost 300,000 packages hosted in here. So think about this just like an iPhone app store, right? iOS, you have an app store that people can just click to install any packages. It's the same for Python. So if you can search anything in here, you should be able to find the packages. For example, I can just type the package gmap. It should take you to here, and so the first one is the one I developed. I also have some other packages. You can also search other packages. For example, NumPy. You should also be able to find the packages. Okay, and in order to later to publish the package, you will need to have an account. So if you don't have an account yet, make sure you sign up an account on the website using your email and also the username. That one is very important because we will need this username later when we create the package. So maybe let me take a look, see how we can sign up. Okay, so upper right corner here, register, and then just type your name, your email address, and your username. So your username is very important. Make sure you choose the one that you're going to remember, and then the password. So similarly, GitHub, you will need a GitHub account. Again, just sign up, your username, your email, and password. So pretty much the same. Once you have these two accounts, then we can get started. Before we do that, I want to let you know that because we are going to publish the package to here, the PyPI, and your package name need to be unique. So if something is already been taken, you will not be able to use the name. Okay, so very, very important. Before you develop the package, make sure you come here to search the package. So for example, the package that I'm going to develop for this course is just basically a demonstration. So but if you want to develop something later that you want to release to the public and you want to have some functionality, you need to choose a good name. So shorter the better, but it also need to be meaningful. So for example, if I just type GeoSoft, because this course is about geographic software design, I want to maybe choose a name called GeoSoft. And if you hit enter, oh, bad luck, somebody already has taken this name, so I cannot use this name anymore. Maybe I try the other one, maybe GeoMap, something like this. Okay, still it's already taken. as you can see, some of the latest updates, some of those packages has not been updated for a long time. So whoever actually use the name first, first come first serve. So you will not be able to use that anymore. And maybe just try the other one, geo demo. Okay. By the way, you can use hyphen, but in your name, in the package name, but it's not recommended. So I'm just going to use geo demo. Okay, so this one looks good. No one has used this name, so I'm going to just use this name as the package name. But you can also take a look at some of the project that I developed. I also have a bunch of other packages, but we are just going to use the geo demo as the package name. Also, I want to show you, let me in here, besides the PyPI, later we're also going to publish this package to conda first. So it's also a good practice to check, see if the name has already been taken or not. So again, you can go to gmap.org and then just click here, open the web page. So this is where all the packages is being hosted on conda first. But I'm just going to go to the conda first directly. So I can just conda first and then .org. This is the official webpage, similar to the PI website I showed you earlier. You can click packages. It might take a couple seconds to load, and once it's finished, you can type into filter items in here. So this is basically to search the package. And for example, if I search Gmap, you will see here this is the package that I published. So you can publish to PyPI and also conda first. So I already choose the name geodemo. So and if I type nothing can be found, that means this name is good name. Keep it in mind, the PyPI, this one has a lot more packages because this is a lot easier to publish and it's not peer review. But if you want to publish something on conda first, you need to go through a lot of steps. I will show you later in this course. So there are much fewer packages on here, but because many people use conda to manage packages and also dependencies, it's also good to actually publish to conda, and that's why we want to do both. And so make sure that you check the name and select a name right now. Think about the name you want later for this course, and also something you want to be useful and meaningful, and make sure you choose a good name. Okay, so once we have decided the name, and then we can get started. So first I'm going to show you how we can actually develop the package using a template. If you go to my GitHub repo, for example, the Gmap, you scroll down to the bottom. Here I show you that this package was actually developed using so-called Cookiecutter and Cookiecutter Py package. So it's basically a Python template. The reason we want this is we don't want to do everything from scratch. Let me open this one first and scroll up here. You can take a look at the folder structure. So if you see from this one, right, you have a lot of files, and if you're a beginner, it might be very challenging to actually follow, like figure out which one is which. And so this is why I developed a package that you can just use a few command lines. You can create a package like this using the same structure. And we are going to use the so-called Cookiecutter. So this package was actually developed using this Cookiecutter, but the downside is that it's using restructured text rather than Markdown. So I personally cannot get used to restructured text. I like Markdown much better. So, and I basically read based on this package, I developed my own Python package that you can use. So I'm going to show you how you can get that. You can go to my GitHub repo, and there's one here, pypackage. Also, I put the link in the description below. You can check the link down there. This is the package we're going to use, the template we're going to use. So it's called Cookiecutter. Basically, it's just a template that you can preload some folder structure, some files, so that you don't have to repeat the same process, and just basically make your life easier. Okay, so if you scroll down, look at here, the quick start. Okay, so this is how you're going to get started. You just need to install the package, and then you execute this line. after that, follow this kind of instructions in here. And so I'm going to show you here step by step how we can create the package and using this kind of a template. Okay, so let's get jump into it. First, you need to install a Miniconda or Anaconda. So I already installed it. Go to the start menu. If you're using a Mac or Linux, you can just use the terminal and then type Conda. Okay, so once we open this one, we are going to create a new Python environment first for this purpose. So I can maybe just take a look conda env list to take a look at some of the environment that I already created, because I earlier already tested the one called demo. So you might not have the same thing in here. So next I'm going to quickly delete the environment so that we can start from scratch. So I'm going to do conda. You don't have to follow this one. I'm just going to delete my environment. So conda remove -n demo. Okay, and then --. Oh, so this one basically going to delete the package that I created earlier. Once it's deleted, let me go back to here to show you where it is located. So it's under your C users, your name, and then scroll down to see Miniconda. For you, it might be Anaconda. It doesn't matter. So and then there's a env folder in here, and you should see, for example, demo or some other environment. I'm just right now going to delete this one. So just clean up. Again, you don't need to follow this step because you haven't created anything yet. Then I can just clear. Okay, so this is where we get started. So first we're going to create an environment that we're going to install the packages and do the testing. So conda create -n, and this is going to be the name of the environment. You can choose any name, any short name should be fine. I'm going to use demo and then Python. Okay, if you don't if you just type Python, by default it's going to use Python 3.9, the latest one, but I'm just going to have equal -3.8. I'm just going to use Python 3.8 because some of the packages that we're going to use later might not yet fully support Python 3.9. So to be safe, we want to use Python 3.8. Just hit enter and then type Y or just hit enter. It should create the environment. It's going to download the packages and then create the environment. Okay, it's done. Once it's done, then we can activate the environment. So if you have not used conda before, you can follow my previous video introduction to conda and Miniconda to get some basic about conda. Okay, so next, conda activate demo. Okay, and then you can type pip list to show you some of the packages that has been installed within this. As you can see, oh, what happened? Conda -demo. So the Python should already be there. Anyway, let's get back to here and then go to my repository. So the next one we're going to install is this one. So you can just copy, then come to here, right click, after right click, it's going to automatically paste the text from your clipboard, and then just hit enter. So it should go online to actually to install the package. Now we can maybe pick this again to see if this is being installed. Okay, so it's already being installed here, Cookiecutter. And then the next one will be this one. So Cookiecutter, GS means GitHub. Okay, this is my username and then the name of the package. So basically it's going to come here to retrieve this one and then put onto your computer. So all we need to do, right click, copy, again come here. I'm using a remote desktop, so sometimes the things does not work very well. Okay, copy, come back to here, paste. Okay, and then hit enter. You have downloaded blah blah blah. It's okay to re-download. Yes, if it is the first time, you might not see this one, so you can just hit enter. And so this is where things get started. Okay, make sure that let me type your full name. Okay, so As I said, I'm on a remote desktop computer, so I cannot type any uppercase. Since I already preload my name in here, I can just hit enter. Just enter. But make sure that you type your name up there, okay? And then hit enter. So for the email, also you need to use a real email, okay? Don't use a fake email, because later we're going to push this one to PyPI and contact first. You will need to have an email address. So I'm just going to use mine, and then hit enter. GitHub username. Again, you need to know your GitHub username. Otherwise, you won't be able to push this one to GitHub. And again, I'm going to type my username, hit enter. Project name. Okay, so this is where we decided earlier. The name of the package, I'm going to use a geodemo. Okay. It's okay to use hyphen or underscore, but there's not recommended. So usually you choose a name that without any other weird character. So just a short name, and then hit enter. So geodemo. Project Slack, you can use the default. You can just hit enter. So the next one here, project description. So this is also very important, because later when you push this one to, for example, PyPI, you want to have some this one here. So it will be the line showing up on this one. So you want to make sure that you also choose a short description, not too long. Okay, I can copy, and then maybe I can come back to here. I can paste, and I can say, oh, Python package for maybe interactive mapping. I don't need to use Google Earth Engine right now, but I can just copy this one. You can directly type in the command the terminal in here. It's up to you. Oh, I'm just going to copy, and then come to here, right click, okay, and then just hit enter. Next one, PyPI username. Okay, so this is again is the one I asked you to sign up for, and because I'm using the same one, my username, and then version. Okay, so I'm going to recommend that just keep as default. You will see these are 3 digits in here, major, minor, and patch. So it'll be like 1.0.1 or whatever. You will see from my package in here right now is 0.8.9. okay, so but for the first version, we're just going to keep it as default. You can change, but I'm not recommended you change in here. So I'm just going to hit enter, and then use pytext text. Just use default, hit enter, no, do not create a also file. You don't need that. You can also default. So the next one here, license. So open source and license. This is you can decide which one you want to use. MIT license is the one I use very often. So basically anyone can modify your source code, and as long as you give the credits. But for other licenses, some are more restrictive. So you can, if it is open source, you cannot use that for commercial purposes. So if you want, you can go online to search those licenses to figure out what does that mean. And we are just going to use the first one here, MIT license. Hit enter, and then it's done. Okay, so once it's done, then you can look at the folder in here, because earlier we put this one under the user directory. So if you go to my user, you should be able to see the one called here geodemo. Okay, so this is the entire folder structure that we create. Okay, so in this template, I already preload some files in here, so that you don't have to start from scratch. If you look at the folder geodemo, okay, so this is the basically the Python package, but we also have a bunch of other files, and this will be required in order to make it a real Python package. So next step, go back to here. Let's follow the steps in here. So we need to create a repo and put it there, and then we can start install some additional packages on our local computer, so we can start doing development and testing. So first step, create a repo and put it there. How can we do that? Go to your GitHub repo, okay, and you can click here, new repository. Choose a name. So the name is that you want to use the name the same as your project name. So we already choose the name, so geodemo. Okay. Next, a description. Okay, you can use the same description that we used earlier. I'm going to just paste in here. And so very important for this, don't add anything, don't initiate anything, don't check any boxes. We just want an empty template, and then we can link the template to here. So just click create repository. Okay, so we have the empty template now, and what we want to do next is to follow the instruction in here on this one, push an existing repository from the command line. So this is what we need. Depends on your account. Sometimes you might here see branch main. I'm using master. So because GitHub changed the settings, like some of the default might be different. So you just use whatever is being shown in here. So once we create this empty template, then we can come back to here, and I'm going to show you how we can start putting the package and then push to GitHub. Okay, so go back again to your repository. Oh, I don't know why I made so many shortcuts in here. So go to your C drive username, and then here you can right click and then open with Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm going to open here using Visual Studio Code. Let me maximize. Then lower left corner, from here you can click the terminal. Okay, so once in terminal here, we can start doing everything here using the terminal. You are also welcome to go here. If you already install Git, you can also right click and open Git base here. It's the same. Okay, and because right now we should be able to use the terminal. In the previous video I already show you how to configure it. So this video configure Windows PowerShell terminal in Visual Studio Code. So it should work from now. And let me show you in here. Just type git, hit enter. You should be able to see the command, right? So in that way we can use everything here directly within Visual Studio Code without having to switch the interface. So we are just going to use this one. So the first step you need is to use git init. Okay, let me come back to here. So it's just like this one. Again, you don't need to follow this one, but we need to initiate. It's a Git repository by default. Right now, it's not a Git repository, so we need this one, and then we can commit. Then we can link this one. So right now, everything is on our local computer, but we already have a remote empty repository. So what we want to do is basically push everything here on our computer to GitHub, and so this is what we're going to do. And come back to here, type git init, hit enter. Then on the left side here, now you should be able to see, you might not see this one on here, but if you look at this one right now, you will see a lot of a sign U means unstaged. So that means everything right now is like being in the Git directory. So we need to actually commit this to Git. So next line, you can just type, let me show you in here, and directly use the interface. So I'm going to basically, for example, you can commit all, you can changes, for example, stage all changes. So because for the first time, we're just going to basically put everything, but you can also do it in the terminal in here. Just type git add period. So git add period, the period means everything right now under this directory. So if I hit enter, you will see this is going to change to A, means has already been added to the staging area. Again, these are all the git command, the information. If you have not used that before, you can take a look at the second video, introduction to Git and GitHub. So they want to show you more detail about how to use that. So again, you can type this one, or you can directly use the menu here, stage changes, stage all changes. Okay, now this all changed to A. That means right now everything has been put into the waiting area, so it's waiting to be committed. So next one, what we want to do is actually to type a message in here, and then just Control Enter to commit. Okay, so I'm gonna just say init commit. You can write any message, okay, you want, and then just hit Control Enter. Okay, Control Enter. You can also come here, commit all. It's up to you, but I usually use Control Enter, and now everything's gone. So basically, we just took a snapshot of the source code, and so it has been committed. So the next step in here is actually to link this one to the remote repository. You can here look at here branch, right? And then you can like take a look at some of these in here. But there's one called remote. Okay, so we can add remote, and then come back to here. And where's our empty one? Okay, so this is our remote repository. You can also directly use this source code here line by line, and I'm just going to use the command line from here. Okay, so I'm going to delete this and then come back to here. I can copy the first line, come to here, right click, hit enter, then it adds a remote. Okay, so basically we right now are linking our local repository to the remote. And the next one, git branch -m master, again hit enter, last one. So we're going to push this one to GitHub. Okay, so it's being uploaded, and so this is the only time that you need to type this command. And after that, all we need to do is just to come here when we make changes, then we can just commit and push from the menu in here. So we don't need to type the terminal anymore. Okay, so it has been pushed. Then you can just refresh. Okay, so we have this right now on GitHub, and we successfully push this one to GitHub. Also, you can see from the icon in here, this one right now does not really have it's basically doing the continuous integration. So we'll talk about this later in the next video, but for now I think this is the first step that we just finish the package. So in the next video I'm going to show you how you can push this one to PyPI, but it's the first step of developing the package and create a template and to push it to GitHub. So once you have that, you can do continuous adding more functions to the package. Right now it's basically just an empty shell, but it's very important to have this empty shell so that you can add more stuff to it. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.